Imagine a world where your thoughts are limited by your language. Meet Ethan, a boy confined by a colorless vocabulary. In his world, there were no words for love, hope, or dream. Life was a monochrome tapestry, woven with the threads of mere survival. One day, Ethan stumbled upon an ancient book, a treasure trove of forbidden words. The book was filled with forbidden words that painted new colors into his thoughts. Ethan was really eager to share this newfound magic, but he was met with blank stares and cold shoulders. But Ethan persisted. He wrote, he spoke, he shared, and slowly, the world began to change. Children were born into a richer emotional landscape, all because one boy dared to rewrite the language of the heart. What's one word that changed your life?
Did you see Ethan? Did you feel for him? I made that clip a few days ago. It's an exaggerated version of what we are going to discuss today. It's made with AI, the narrations are by AI, the visuals are also by AI, and it tries to tell us a story where the language has a profound effect on the thought processes of people. And that's what we are going to discuss today. But before we dive in, let me ask you this. Have you ever wondered if your language has any effect on your thoughts? Because it does. And let me explain why. We use language to express ourselves. We do it by speaking, we do it by writing, we also do it with science. Therefore, we can easily conclude that language is a tool for communication. But it turns out it's more nuanced than that. What are these nuances? Well, in the 20th century, these two guys, Edward Sapir and Benjamin Lee Whorf, became really prominent with their thoughts about how language influences the thought. Bear with me here, it's gonna get a bit complicated and technical, but we need to. The writings of these two guys led to the creation of a hypothesis called Sapir-Whorf Hypothesis, also regarded as linguistic relativity hypothesis. I will include links in the description below for those who want to read further about those two guys and their life and what they were advocating, but for this video we will just dive into the hypothesis right away, and I will try to explain to you what the Sapir-Whorf hypothesis is in the simplest way I can. What is the Sapir-Whorf hypothesis all about? Well, the idea that language systems influence its speakers was first introduced in the 18th century by German philosophers Herder and Humboldt. It was Humboldt who basically argued that language forms ideas, therefore it affects its speakers' attitudes. Hence, the individuals speaking different languages must have different worldviews. Although the ideas were discussed in academia, it was the Sapir-Whorf hypothesis that gave a comprehensive explanation to the relationship between language and thought. The hypothesis basically suggests that the world we live in is so complex, or as Whorf puts it, it is a kaleidoscopic flux of impressions. We have to organize it through language. Therefore, the objective world is very subjective to people because we filter it through different languages. Think of it like this. If you have different words and structures in your language, it's like having different colors in your mental crayon box. For example, if your language has multiple words for love, you might experience love in a more nuanced way than someone whose language only includes one word for it. It's like having more shades of colors to paint your ideas with. So, in a way, language isn't just a tool for communication, but it is a lens through which we see and observe the world. Let me give you some more examples to better understand this. Snow. In Inuit language, there are multiple words for snow, each describing its texture and the form and the condition. This means that an Inuit person understands snow in a more nuanced way than someone like me who only knows the word snow. Or gender, for example. In some languages, like Spanish, there are gender nouns. In Russian, everything has gender. This can influence how people perceive objects. For example, for someone like me, whose mother language, Azerbaijani, doesn't have this feature of gendering different objects, I cannot comprehend why objects should have gender. And what do we learn from this? We learn that language is not just a tool for communication, but it's like a set of glasses that you wear in order to interpret and understand the world around you. You might be asking yourself, why does any of this matter? Why should I care about the relationship between language and the thought? And the answer is very simple, yet profound. Understanding this relationship can be a game changer for how we interact with each other and the world at large. Firstly, if we understand that people with different linguistic backgrounds might perceive the world differently, we can approach our conversations and disputes in a more open-minded way. It's like walking a mile in someone else's shoes, but linguistically speaking. So it can help us become more empathetic. Secondly, it can help us break down barriers. Understanding that a person's linguistic background might limit or expand the way they think can help us overcome biases and stereotypes. It can actually be one of the keys to addressing stereotypes, because then we would have understood the reasons behind some of these stereotypes and therefore be prepared to how to address them. These are the reasons why I think it's important to understand how the linguistic background of a person influences the way they think and how they perceive the world. If we can keep this in mind every time we talk to a person from a different linguistic and cultural background, or every time we try to learn a new language, imagine how fewer disputes and misunderstandings and conflicts would be in the world. So I want you to imagine a society where we are not just mindful of the words we say, but attuned to the thoughts behind those words. A society where we don't just hear, but truly listen. Beyond the language, beyond the accent, and beyond the cultural nuances. That's not just effective communication. That's a step toward a more empathetic, understanding, and united world. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell for notifications so you don't miss an episode.